Good morning. Namaste to each of you. Thank you for honoring your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's just take a moment to become present. Find a nice, comfortable seated position where the back of your spine, the back of your neck can sit nice and long and tall, opening up your chest, opening up your diaphragm, and opening up your heart. Let's gently close our eyes and soften our thoughts. Soften our eyes. Soften our shoulders. Soften our heart. Observe your breath as it is. Soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes now. For this morning's intention, you may think of a positive word or phrase to have with you on your mat and perhaps carry with you throughout the day. This morning's intention I'd like to talk about is Aparigraha. Aparigraha is one of the Yamas. It's the last of 5 Yamas, and the Yamas are the first of 8 limbs of the yoga. And Aparigraha is all about non-attachment, non-possessiveness, and non-hoarding. This guideline is simply about letting go. Consider this quote from Deborah Adele. A bird cannot hold its perch and fly. So in Deborah Adele's book, The Yamas and Yamas, she goes on to say, our mind and body and spirit can become attached to things like possessions, emotions, experiences, and expectations. Like the bird, when we let go of our grasp on these things, we are free to fly. Yoga will teach us to let go. It invites us to pack lightly for our journey through life, all the while caring deeply and enjoying fully. This is what we learn on the mat, and we can carry it with us off the mat. So for our pranayama this morning, another part of Deborah Adele's book, she goes on to say the simple act of inhaling and exhaling teaches us about the fullness of breathing in life without the need to hold on to it. I think that is such a beautiful thought. We have to exhale and we have to inhale. We have to let go of each one of those in order to have our life exist. So for this morning's pranayama, I'm going to do a little riff on the letting go part. It's a vritti. We've done other vrittis. This one's called Vishama, and it emphasizes the act of letting go by increasing the length of the exhale. So we're going to count to 4 on the inhale and count to 6 on the exhale. So if your count is more comfortable other than 4, you can count to that number and then just exhale to the number +2. So just increase your exhale by 2 counts. So let's just do a few inhales, exhales. We'll do a lot more of it once we get on the mat. Once I get on the mat. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry. And continue on just a little bit more with your inhales and exhales, extended exhales. And then for our meditation this morning, we'll spend a few moments in stillness. And there's a mudra if you'd like to use it. It's a Kshepana, and you would have your fingers interlaced and have your index fingers pointing up to the sky. And you would hold that mudra at your heart center. And this mudra helps to let go which no longer serves you, which I thought made a great affirmation if you would like to use it as an affirmation. The affirmation being, I let go that which no longer serves me. I let go that which no longer serves me. And I'll meet you on the mat. We can start our asana practice now. And just as I mentioned, the Vritti that lets you exhale, let's incorporate that into our sun breaths and chest opener. So on the inhale, we'll go a little bit faster. On the exhale, we're just going to go a little bit slower to have an extended exhale. So inhale, lifting our fingers up to the sky. And then exhale, just go down a little more slowly. Bring your hands to heart center. You can even do that Kshepana mudra, if you like. And then open up your hands on the inhale a little faster. And then exhale, slowly bringing your hands back together again. Inhale up. And then exhale, slowly releasing down. Just letting go slowly. And then we'll do that a couple more times. Inhale up. Slowly exhale. Inhale, open. And then exhale, close. Inhale up. And then exhale slowly down. And one last time, inhale up. Slowly exhale down. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale up. And then really slowly exhale down. And then we'll have our fingertips alongside of us. We do a few side stretches, seated side stretches. So I'm going to start with my right fingertip on the mat and bring my left arm up close to my ear. And then I'm going to bend my right elbow toward the mat and tip over to the side, stretching on the left side. And then inhale back up. And we'll do a few more on the same side. A little efficiency today. So bending the elbow back down again, tipping over toward the right. And then inhale back up. And then one last time, tipping down to the right, bringing your elbow down toward the mat. And then back up again. And then we'll do that on the other side. So left fingertips go to the mat, right arm goes up alongside of your ear. Left elbow comes down toward the mat, tipping our torso over to the left. And then back up again. And then we'll do that 2 more times. So bending your elbow toward the mat. And then coming back up again. And one last time, bending the elbow toward the mat. And then back. And then we'll come into a seated position, our staff pose, with our legs extended out front. You can kind of lift up and down. You get really connected to the mat in the staff pose. Then we'll bring our right leg, bring it alongside the outer side of your left knee. And then wrap our left arm around the right knee, bringing the right fingertips to the back. And you send your gaze to the right, or if you'd like a little bit more twist, you can send your gaze over your right shoulder. And then slowly come back to center. We'll switch legs, come back to staff. Bring the left foot alongside the outer edge of your right knee. Wrap your right arm around your left knee. Send the left fingertips back behind the hips. Twist and send your gaze to the left. And if you'd like a little bit more stretch, then send your gaze over your left shoulder. And then we'll come back to center. We'll come up onto our hands and knees to tabletop. Place our hands on the mat, spreading our fingers nice and wide, bringing equal amounts of weight into our hands. Our wrists are right below our shoulders. Knees are right below our hips. Navel's tucked to the spine. We'll do a few head turns. So we're going to have our gaze start straight down. And then turn our nose to the right. And then gently bring it back to center. And continue the flow over to the left. And back to center. Again, over to the right. And back to center. Once again, over to the left. Back to center. And one last flow to the right. To center. And then to the left. Back to center. And we'll do a few cat-cows. So we're going to exhale, rounding our back, and really exhaling and stretching out our back, spinal column. And then inhale, bringing our head and tailbone up, sending our gaze straight ahead. Cow. And then rounding our back again on the exhale for cat. Head and tailbone come down. Nice stretch. And then head and tailbone come back again. And we'll continue this, maybe making the cat pose on the exhale a little bit longer. Stretch, and then maybe bringing the inhale to the cow pose, just a little shorter. And then bring yourself back to tabletop. And we're going to lift, or actually we're going to extend our right foot down to the bottom of the mat. You want to move your left knee in toward the center a little bit. And we're just going to lift the right foot up and then point the toes and then flex the toes and then bring the toes back down to the mat. So both hands are going to stay on the mat for this one. So lift, point, flex, and bring them back down. Lift, point, flex, down. Lift, point, flex, down. And remember to keep that pressure in your hands, that equal distribution of weight. Lift, flex, or point, flex, down, lift, point, flex, down, lift, point, flex, down. And then bring that right knee back to tabletop. And we'll do that on the other side. So extend your left foot down to the bottom of the mat. Equal weight distributed in your hands. Lift the left leg up, point, flex, bring the toes back down. Lift, point, flex, down. Lift, point, flex, down. Lift, point, flex, down. Again, pushing weight down into your hands. Lift, point, flex, down. And one last time, lift, point, flex, down. Come back to tabletop. We tuck our toes under and walk our hands back, coming into a squat position. And then pushing down into our feet to lift up to mountain pose. With mountain pose, we're going to bring our big toes so they're pointing to the straight edge of the mat. And lift the toes up off the mat. And then bring them back down, lifting the heels up off the mat. And then back down. Our legs are nice and straight and strong. Gentle flex in the knees. Navel's tucked to the spine. Elongating the spine and the back of the neck. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back, so you have that nice straight line from the toes to the crown of your head. Chin's tucked back slightly, again, bringing that back of the neck in line with your spine. Crown of the head reaches tall up to the sky. Then we'll sweep our hands up overhead. Big inhale, and then exhale. Bring our hands down to the mat, bending our knees as we go. And then bringing our hands to our shins. Nice long spine. Back the neck's nice and long too, creating that nice long straight line. And then dropping the crown of our head down toward the mat. We'll just relax here, let gravity take over for a few minutes. Float your hands into the air. You really feel that gravitational pull. And then we'll sweep our hands from the mat all the way up to the sky. And as we lift our hands up to the sky, we're going to come up onto our tippy toes, lifting our heels up. And then exhale, slowly exhale, and slowly lower back down to the mat. Hands come down, heels come down. And then sweeping our hands up again, all the way up to the sky. Up, tippy toes. And then one come down again. Slowly lowering with control. Lowering our heels to the mat. And one last time, sweeping our hands all the way up. Coming up onto the tippy toes. Focusing on maybe drishti to help your balance. And then slowly bringing the hands back down. Slowly bringing the heels back down. We're going to bring our hands all the way down to the mat, bending our knees as we go. And then lifting our hands to our shins for half forward fold, creating that nice long line with our spine and our neck. And then sending the crown of our head down toward the mat. And then we're going to bring both hands to the mat. And we're going to do a forward fold twist. So we're going to have the left hand placed in front of the left foot. The left knee bending toward the left arm. And then we'll sweep the right hand all the way up to the sky. Perhaps following it with your eyes. And then sweeping that right hand back down. And change places. So the right hand goes in front of the right foot. Right knee bends toward the right arm. We'll sweep the left hand all the way up to the sky. And then bringing it slowly back down. Then sweeping both hands all the way up to the sky. Palms come together. Palms come to heart center. And then we're going to do a few step backs. So we're going to start off with our feet hip width apart and hands at heart center onto the mudra. And we'll just lift our right leg up. Get stable here for a moment. And then just send it back, landing on the ball of your foot. And it doesn't matter how far back, it could be pretty close. And then we're going to roll down that foot till your heel reaches the mat. And your left leg will then have a nice bend to it. So it's kind of a mini lunge we're doing. And then we'll bring it back. We'll do that again. Same leg, right leg goes up. And then see if you can extend it back even a little bit further. Ball of the foot touches the mat, and then you roll your foot down to the heel so that your whole foot's connected and grounded with the mat. Left leg is bent again. And then we'll come back to mountain pose. And one last time, lifting the right leg up. And then send it as far back as what's comfortable for you. Landing on the ball and rolling down to the heel of the foot. This might stretch out that right calf. You feel it in your right calf. And then come back. We'll do that on the other side. So lifting the left leg up, bringing it back just a little bit. Doesn't have to go back too far this first time. Rolling your foot down to the heel. Right leg, right knee is bent just slightly, a little mini lunge. We come back to mountain pose. Lifting the left leg again. Send it back just a little bit further if you can. Rolling down your foot till you reach the heel. Have a little bit more of a medium lunge here. And then bringing it back to mountain pose. And one last time, lifting the left leg up and sending it back quite a distance that's comfortable for you. Rolling down your foot to the heel, stretching out that calf, left leg. And then bringing it back to mountain pose. And we'll sweep our hands down and up over our head again with a big inhale. And exhale, bring your hands all the way down to the mat. Inhale, bringing the hands to the shins, flattening out the spine and the back of the neck. Nice straight line, half forward fold. And then dropping the crown of our head down to the mat. And sweeping our hands all the way up overhead. Palms come together. Palms come to heart center. And palms come to the back of the hips. The feet should be about hip width apart already. Fingertips pointing down. Base of your hands on the hips. Shoulders are relaxed and roll back. And just tip back your shoulders, coming into that supportive back bend. To the point where you feel that sweet spot between effort and relaxation. And then breathe deeply into this. And then come back up to mountain pose. Great. Moving right along. Come back to mountain pose. With our hands at heart center onto the mudra. We're going to lift that right leg up again, just as we did a minute ago. This time, we're going to send it all the way back and come down to runner's lunge. So send it as far back as you can, bending down, coming into runner's lunge. The runner's lunge, your knees right above your ankle, your hands are framing your left foot, right heels pushing down to the bottom of the mat, energizing your right leg. Then with our right hand on the mat, we'll sweep our left hand up to the sky, following it with your eyes. And then slowly bringing it back down again. We're going to take that left foot and bring it all the way down to the end of the mat, coming into plank pose. Wrists are right below our shoulders, navels tucked to the spine, elevating our hips slightly. And then we'll come down to the mat, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. And placing your arms alongside your body with your palms facing up, chin gently resting on the mat. We'll lift the right leg up and then bring it back down. And do that 2 more times, lifting the right leg up and bring it back down. And one last time, up and then back down. Bring our hands right below our shoulders, elbows tucked to our sides, lifting our chin and chest up, and then gently pressing into our hands, coming into cobra. Then we'll push our hands, come into tabletop, and then lowering our hips down to extended child pose. And then we'll come back up to tabletop, tuck our toes under, and come into downward dog. We'll pedal out here for a moment. Fingers are gripping the mat. Index finger pointing to the top of the mat. Arms are straight and strong. Chest is reaching toward the thighs. So we can elevate our hips slightly. Pedaling out, you bring your heel to touch the mat. Keeping your toes on the mat. And then we're gonna lift the right leg up, right in back of us, just gonna sweep it up to the back for a three-legged dog. And then bring it back down to the mat, put it out for a moment. And then sweep it again, up. And then back down and pedal out. And one last time, sweeping it up and down. And then bending your knee, because we're gonna bring that right foot forward, coming into runner's lunge. So again, framing the right foot with our hands, left toes are on the mat, runner's lunge, and then we're gonna come into high lunge. And you can go straight up, or you can do it in two parts, coming to the knee, and then coming all the way up to high lunge. And if this is not quite stable for you, you can pivot your back foot down so that it's a little bit more stable. And then we're going to sweep our hands down and back. And as we sweep them back, we're going to straighten our front leg out. Just leaving a little bit of a bend in it, not blocking the knee. And then sweeping our hands up, coming back down into a high lunge. And then again, sweeping our hands down and back, straightening out our leg as we go. And then sweeping our hands back up, coming back into that lunge. And then we're going to bring our hands all the way down to the mat, coming back into runner's lunge. Bringing that right foot back to meet the left, coming back to plank pose. And then lowering back down to the mat, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Arms go alongside of us, palms facing up, chin gently resting on the mat. And this time we're going to lift both legs and both arms up as if we're flying. And then bring them back down again. We'll bring our hands right below our shoulders, elbows tucked in, lifting the chin and chest gently up, and then pushing down our hands, coming into cobra. And then pushing up to tabletop and down, lowering our hips to our ankles for extended child's pose. And then coming back up to tabletop. Tuck our toes under, come into downward dog, and pedal out here. And then we'll slowly walk our feet up to our hands, coming into forward fold. And sweeping our hands all the way up to the sky. Palms come together. Palms come to heart center. And then we're going into modification of warrior 3, which is like a bird. We're going to lift our right leg up in front of us, become nice and stable. And then we're going to bring our leg and our hands, sweeping them toward the back of the mat in the air. And coming down, finding your drishti, coming into warrior 2 or airplane pose, or like a bird. Oops, wow. And then coming back down, landing on your perch. So we'll do that all again on the other side. So starting with our feet hip width apart, hands at heart center, Anjali Mudra. We're going to lift our left leg up. And then extend it as far back as we can, bringing our hands down to the mat, coming into runner's lunge. Place the left hand down in the mat, sweep the right hand up to the sky, runner's lunge with a twist. And then slowly bring that hand back down to the mat. Bring that right foot back to join the left foot coming into plank pose. Navel's tucked to the spine, elevating our hips slightly. And slowly lowering down, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. We'll bring both arms alongside of us, palms facing up, chin resting gently on the mat. And then with the left leg, we'll just lift it 3 times. So lifting it once, and then bringing it back down. Try to keep the hip bones parallel with the mat. Lift it again. And then back down. And one last time. Lift it up to the sky, as far as you can go. And then back down again. We'll bring our hands right below our shoulders, elbows tucked to our sides. Lifting the chin and chest up. Pressing into the hands, coming into cobra. And then pushing up to tabletop. And then lowering your hips to your ankles for extended child's pose. Going back up to tabletop. Tuck your toes under. Coming into downward dog. Maybe we'll pedal up here for a little bit. Walk your dog around. Or it gets too hot outside. We'll lift our left foot up, so just sweeping it back you, lifting it up to the sky. And then bringing it back down, pedal out just a little bit. And then again, sweeping that left foot all the way up to the sky. And then back down again. And one last time, lifting that left foot up to the sky. Bringing it back down. Bending the knee and bringing that left foot forward. Coming into runner's lunge. Then we're going to go into high lunge from here. Again, you can do 2-part to the knee and then up to the sky. And if you're a little wobbly, you can pivot your back foot down, give yourself more stability. And we'll sweep our hands down and straighten out our front leg. And then sweep the hands up, coming back into that high lunge pose. Sweeping our hands back down again, straightening the left leg out. And then sweeping back up again. And then bringing our both hands down to the mat, coming back to runner's lunge. We'll bring that left foot back, join the right foot to plank pose, and then slowly lowering down to the mat again. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Bring both arms to the side, the palms facing up. Chin gently resting on the mat, or you can have it elevated a little. And then we're going to go into that bird flying pose. So just lift both legs, both arms up, and feel like you're flying. And then back down again. Bringing your hands right below your shoulders, elbows to the side, lifting your chin and chest up, then gently pressing down to your hands, coming into cobra. And then up to tabletop and down to extended child's pose. And then we'll come back up to tabletop. Tuck our toes under, lift our hips up to the sky. Pedal out here for a moment. And then slowly walk our feet up to our hands, coming into forward fold. And then sweeping our hands all the way up overhead. Palms come together. Palms come to heart center. And then we'll do warrior 3 / airplane / bird coming off its perch. Flying pose. Again, our feet are about hip width apart. You lift the left leg up. Hands are at heart center under the mudra. Just stay here for a moment to find your balance, find your stability. Maybe find a drishti. Actually, probably will work better if you find a drishti once you're starting to look down toward the mat. And then we'll send that left leg back, send the arms back, and in to flight. And then come back down to your perch. Well done, everyone. So we'll bring our little pinky toes to the edge of the mat, tucking our heels in at a 45-degree angle. Hands come to heart center. And then we'll slowly lower down, bending our knees as we go, coming into wide-legged squat. Our torso comes between our legs. Our elbows are resting on the inner part of the knees. If you'd like, you can send your hands in the Anjali Mudra down toward the mat, creating even a little bit more of a stretch. Then we'll come down to the mat, sitting down, and we'll roll back onto our back. You choose whichever method you like to roll back. I'm going to have my knees bent today and just slowly roll back, try to connect vertebrae with the mat as I go. Really working on that core. And when you've landed, you can bring your knees to your chest and give them a little hug. And rock back and forth, massaging your lower back. It's earned it, for sure. And then with your toes, you can draw these nice big circles for the full moon, which is this week, the sturgeon moon. And then at your leisure, you can reverse your circle. connecting that lower back with the mat. Just massaging it as we're creating your circles. And then bring your knees back to your chest and you're going to hug again. And then we'll do a few rowboats. So we place our hands on our knees. We extend our arms fully toward the bottom of the mat. And then we'll open our knees to each side, keep connecting the sole of our feet together. And then drawing our knees back toward our shoulders. And then sending the knees back over our chest. And again, give them a little hug. And we'll do this a few more times. So hands on the knees, extending the arms fully forward, opening the knees to each side, connecting the left sole to the right sole, foot, and then the knees come back toward the shoulders. And then closing the knees over the chest again, giving them a nice hug. And one last time, extend the knees forward, arms fully extended. Opening the knees to each side, sole to sole. Bringing the knees back toward our shoulders. And closing the knees over the chest and giving you a nice hug. And then we'll send our arms out from at shoulder height, forming a T. We'll do a few recline twists. So you lower the knees to the right, keeping your head facing straight up for the moment. And once they've landed, then gently turning the head over to the left, looking at your left fingertips. And just breathe into this pose for a few moments. And then slowly turning your head back to center. Lifting your legs back to center. And slowly lowering your knees to the left side. Doing that twist in your spine. Once they've landed, slowly turning your head to the right to look at your right fingertips. And slowly turning your head back to center. Lifting your knees back to center and extending your feet down to the bottom of the mat for Shavasana. Heels go into the corners, feet just relax. Arms come alongside you at an angle, just a little bit away from you with the palms facing up. And turn one corner of your lips up and then turn the other corner of your lips up into a nice smile. Take a deep inhale and exhale through your mouth. Another deep inhale and another deep exhale. Really extending that exhale. The poem I have for you this morning is Let It Go by Dana Faulds. Let go of the ways you thought life would unfold, the holding of plans or dreams or expectations. Let it all go. Save your strength to swim with the tide. The choice to fight what is here before you now, will only result in struggle, fear, and desperate attempts to flee from the very energy you long for. Let go. Let it all go and flow with a grace that washes through your days, whether you receive it gently or with all your quills raised to defend against invaders. Take this on faith. The mind may never find the explanations that it seeks, but you will move forward nonetheless. Let go, and the wave's crest will carry you to unknown shores, beyond your wildest dreams or destinations. Let it all go and find the place of rest and peace and certain transformation.